Hey guys, what's going on your Thursday right now? Brian Himmelfarb here, ready to go. Joe Compton, what's up? We're ready to talk Royal Rumble. The WWE Royal Rumble set to air this Sunday from Phoenix, Arizona, Chase Field. And of course, we got NXT TakeOver. Obviously, going to be the big show on Saturday. It's going to be a wild, wild weekend. Thank you guys for joining me here tonight for the live stream to talk Royal Rumble. We got a lot of things to get into, all the matches to talk about. A lot of juicy rumors have been going around lately, especially centered around Ronda Rousey and what her future is. We're hearing that maybe she might not be around WWE that much longer. The same can also be said about Shinsuke Nakamura. And this is going to get really, really interesting. Dolph Ziggler, same situation as well. So sit back, relax, let's enjoy the show. Click the like button while you're here. Shout out to everybody in the chat. This is your show too, so it's not just going to be me talking, guys. I'm always looking into the chat, seeing what you guys want to say, and get your thoughts on the upcoming Royal Rumble this weekend, as well as NXT TakeOver. We'll even get a little bit into HWF tonight as well. We'll talk about that, which is part of WWE 2K19, and what's coming up with that. So sit back, relax, let's have a fun night. We'll be moving over to Twitch later on to do the, I'll give you guys a sneak preview of HWF tonight, and even throw a little match in there just to show you guys what's going on. Joe Compton is already ready, talking about he's going to win the HWF Rumble Championship. It's a long way to get there, Joe. Trust me, it's not going to be an easy road, but hey, man, confidence is great. So shout out to everybody here. I see everybody starting to file in right now. Shout out to Joe Compton, Casey is Raw, AJ Hoover, Alpha Excalibur. What's going on? Flow Grown OG. What's up, man? What a day we had in Florida, especially this morning. So at least the wild weather's over. Hopefully you guys are all staying warm around the nation. I know it's pretty cold in a lot of areas today. So hit the like button. Let's relax. Let's get into it. Let's talk. Let's start with NXT TakeOver, of course, Saturday in Phoenix. Really excited about this card. I think this is going to be a great card this weekend. So I'm really looking forward to the matches that we have. I watched, what's up, Luke Rojas? I watched NXT last night. Even got a little bit NXT UK last night. Got really excited about this weekend. Well, what's up, a one day? But we really excited about NXT this weekend. I think it's going to be a huge, huge show, and the card is absolutely fucking stacked. But as I said, we'll get into the Royal Rumble as well, and the matchups we got there, the pre-show, the main show, into the Rumble, and what could be some surprises, some entrants, and of course, obviously, this being a Let's Talk, guys in the chat, also let me know who you think might be a surprise entrant when we get to that, because I'd love to hear from you, even if it's comedic and ridiculous. Let's just throw it out there. We could just say, hey, hashtag Ultimate Warrior for the Royal Rumble. Who knows, right? He could come down from the heavens and then all of a sudden grace us into the Rumble. And looks like we got a cunt war going on in the chat. Luke Rojas and Awandi. But let's get right to it, because I really want to get into Twitch later here, and we'll talk HWF as well. So starting out in Phoenix, the first match we learned of, Matt Riddle will be facing Cassius Ohno. And sometimes I feel like Cassius Ohno a bit of a doormat at times, but I feel like this is like the most involved I've seen of Cassius Ohno in a long time. And I'm loving Matt Riddle. I love the whole bro thing. Bro, oh my God, bro. It made me think of when I was playing Tales from the Borderlands, and all I'm hearing is bro. It was crazy. What's up, Travis TLC? What's up, man? Making sure I catch everybody here in the chat, so send out that love. But Matt Riddle has been awesome coming on to NXT. I've really enjoyed him being there so far. And it's also given Cassius Ohno a little something to do as well. And make him feel even slightly relevant on the NXT roster, which is crazy, because, I mean, Matt Riddle is just going to be huge, bro. Whereas Cassius Ohno, I mean, I'm trying to think, how old is Cassius Ohno? He's coming up on 40. He's 39, I think, right now. So it's kind of weird, when you think about it, because I know a lot of people kind of give issues about weight issues with Cassius Ohno, but this feud has given him something to be excited about, and for me to be excited to watch. What's up, Steve Callen? And Travis says he doesn't like that Riddle wrestles barefoot. That's just off-putting to me. Yeah, what's funny is a lot of wrestlers do, especially back in the day. If you remember when you had the character Umaga, who did barefoot. We've seen it back in the day with a lot of the Samoan wrestlers doing it barefoot. So I don't know if he's going to be barefoot for long. I'll be honest with you. I think that if he does come to the main roster, Yokozuna, thank you, another one. I think if he does come to the main roster, somehow I think they're going to say, hey, man, you got to put something on, put some shoes on. Rusev did it for a while, and then all of a sudden now Rusev has footwear. So, you know it's coming at some point. But for right now in NXT, I don't think they're not going to make a big deal about it. I'm finding it fun. He's going to break an ankle. But this weekend for their match, I know sometimes the matches have been very short between Matt Riddle and Cassius Ohno. I don't think that's going to be the case here. This is going to be a nice long match because we got 5 matches to fill on this card for 2.5 hour event. And I think we can get a good 20 minutes with these guys in the ring, which I think would be great. It'd be great for Cassius Ohno to give him really something to do, and for me to feel a little bit more excited about him being back again for the second time. So in this case, though, I've always known that Matt Riddle has pretty much always had the upper hand in this. And I think for this weekend, as I'm making my picks here on the go, I am picking Cassius Ohno to get the win here in the first match. He had a victory, of course, dirty, of course, against Keith Lee a couple weeks ago in NXT, which helped lead further into this moment. I know for me, I don't know if I want to see more of Matt Riddle and Cassius Ohno after this. It's like, let's give Matt Riddle something else to do, and then Cassius Ohno could go back being a doormat. Who knows? But it's not going to be clean. I could tell you that. AJ Hoover is absolutely 100% correct on this. It's not going to be clean. It's going to be dirty. In the end, I'm picking Cassius Ohno. Joe Compton is right. Underutilized. How many times have we heard underutilized superstars? What's up, Merch? Mike Kanellis stands out, underutilized. The Revival, underutilized. The Ascension, underutilized. We can think of so many names that came from NXT and come over to the main roster who have been very underutilized, and these are ones that stand out. A very good point. Cassius Ohno is one of them. But this weekend, I am picking Cassius Ohno to beat Matt Riddle. It really makes sense at this point, because if they go Matt Riddle again, it's like, well, then everything I perceived about Cassius Ohno being a doormat would be correct. So that's the way I see it there. I think, he used to be Chris Hero, comes over, Cassius Ohno. I love that every town he goes in, he'll have a different color based on the colors of the teams of that town. So obviously we're going to get some Phoenix-inspired gear, probably like Phoenix Cardinals-inspired gear from Cassius Ohno in this event. So you can always count on that with Cassius Ohno. Moving into the next match, the NXT North American Championship. Ricochet, the champion, going against Johnny Gargano. Hopefully you all watched NXT this past week on yesterday. Today's Thursday. It was on last night. We had a great moment with Johnny Gargano and Ricochet, although it was more for Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa than it was for anybody else. But I remember Johnny Gargano coming out. Hey, Phoenix Suns inspired gear. Thank you, Joe Compton. You just thought about that. But oh no, it's oh no. But if you think about Johnny Gargano, who opened up the start of this year on NXT and said that you're defined by wins and championships. And Johnny Gargano, ever since he's been in NXT, only thing he's won is the tag titles with Tommaso Ciampa. And I'm getting to a point here. But he called out, we were thinking at first, he's going to go after Tommaso Ciampa again. But no, he goes for Ricochet. And Ricochet, ever since he's been on the roster, has been phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I've enjoyed everything that Ricochet has done. Seeing him with the North American Championship between Adam Cole and then, of course, with Ricochet has brought this thing so much credibility. And I believe even with Johnny, if Johnny Gargano was to win, it would still have that credibility if that was the case. Yesterday on NXT, we see Johnny Gargano get a one-up on Ricochet again, talking about, oh yeah, in 2018 I would just rush to the ring and go beat someone down, and well, it's 2019 and he's back at it again, going in, rushing in, taking people out. Fans kind of like, do I cheer for Johnny Gargano? Do I boo Johnny Gargano? When he comes to the ring, obviously he gets a huge pop, and then after that it's like, oh no, I gotta boo Johnny Gargano, but I love Johnny Gargano. I think he's great. Johnny Wrestling has been awesome ever since he's been here under the WWE umbrella. I just worry about what's going to happen to him if he eventually goes to the main roster. And the same thing I'd say about Tommaso Ciampa. But we saw once again shades of DIY last night on NXT. Seeing that, all of a sudden Johnny Gargano gets in there, gets in a little beat down with him. Tommaso Ciampa comes out of nowhere, and all of a sudden Tommaso Ciampa helps Johnny Gargano as well. So all of a sudden, it's like you're seeing shades of DIY, and you see the fans chanting DIY, DIY, DIY. We want it back again. I think because as fans, we love DIY, and it's like, man, I really wish they never broke up, but think about what we got ever since they did. I don't know if we would ever see Tommaso Ciampa as the champion right now if they were still DIY. So things have worked out for the better for this team. And for Johnny Gargano, as he said, you're measured by wins and championships. And as much as I love Ricochet, I believe that Johnny Gargano is going to get the NXT North American Championship. This is the time to do it. Merge just mentioned heel DIY. A lot of us want it. We heard the fans chanting out, hug it out, hug it out, hug it out. You get Candice LeRae all of a sudden coming out of nowhere. Oh, no, we're not having this because Tommaso Ciampa put his hand out to Johnny Gargano. Let's end this beef. And now the story continues. Think about this. For the last couple of years, the story of Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano has been huge, like more than anything. You look at what Ricochet has done ever since he's been here, the matches he's had. You look at War Games, what he did in War Games with Pete Dunne and the War Raiders has been phenomenal. And as he's represented the belt well. But I also believe, is there something going on in the chat? If there is, go ahead and get rid of them if it's an issue. Is it Ryback? Ryback. No one cares about Ryback. Honestly, no one cares about Ryback. But anyway, I believe that Johnny Gargano is going to be the one to claim is going to become the new North American champion. It makes sense in this case. What's up, Sarah Small? As much as I love Ricochet, it's time to pass the belt on to someone else. And Johnny Gargano is that person. I can't think of anyone better other than, say, put it back on Adam Cole again. But it's almost like Adam Cole doesn't really need a belt. And I'm going to get into Adam Cole later on. But at this point, Johnny Gargano having the North American Championship makes sense here. And to help define him, even though, as I said, Johnny Gargano is not a guy that really needs a championship to define him. He's so over with the fans. Ricochet is still way over with the fans, which is great. I worry about how they're going to be on the main roster. Vince McMahon can come out and go 205 live for you. No, screw that. They have to be main roster, Raw and SmackDown. So, but are we going to see DIY come back again? And I think the answer is yes. We will see it at some point this year. We'll see those things slow build. Or do we get Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano on WrestleMania weekend? Don't know. There's a lot of things to think about. Luke Rojas bringing up the Velveteen Dream. We're going to be talking Velveteen Dream, especially about his Twitter earlier this week. But Johnny Gargano is going to become the new champion. NXT Tag Team titles on the line. The Undisputed Era. I love Undisputed Era. Undisputed Era. Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong versus the War Raiders, Hanson and Rowe. This, again, is going to be a great tag team match. Something I'm really looking forward to. A big fan of Undisputed Era. I love what they've been doing. Last night on NXT, you had Bobby Fish going up against the Velveteen Dream, which was great. And I love how Velveteen Dream getting on the mic last night, sitting there trying to say, hey, you need Adam Cole's permission before you get some of me. I love that they're trying to throw a few cracks into the Undisputed Era as they're leading into this whole year, because I wonder if the Undisputed Era is going to be on NXT this whole year, and I feel like they're not. I feel like they're going to be around for a while. Maybe after SummerSlam, bring them over to the main roster, or maybe even after WrestleMania, start kind of pushing things over, because Adam Cole on the main roster makes a lot more sense than just NXT, because I feel like Adam Cole has nothing to accomplish in NXT. He's done everything already. He's super over. When he gets called up, and even Velveteen Dream eventually getting called up, they're so over. I just don't know what the main roster they're going to do with the Velveteen Dream. I'm worried they're going to turn him into Goldust 2.0. I look at Undisputed Era, and I just hope they don't bury guys like Bobby Fish. There's just so much talent there. But sticking with Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, the War Raiders have been phenomenal. I love the War Raiders. War Machine, basically, we just call them War Machine at this point. Having them come in, they've been dominant. Again, I go back to TakeOver War Games and how amazing freaking War Raiders were. And, of course, the entire Undisputed Era were phenomenal. But is it time for the War Raiders to be champions? In a way, I think a lot of us can say yes. But in Phoenix, no. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that the Undisputed Era retains the tag team titles. I know as much as everyone's going to say, oh, come on, man. I'm just saying, I think it's a smart move to keep the belts on them. We're not going to go take away every single belt from somebody and move it to someone else. This is one of those titles that stays in the hands of the Undisputed Era. And again, you can still play the numbers game with, you got Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong in the ring, and then you got Bobby Fish and Adam Cole outside the ring. And I think that the numbers are going to be too much to deal with. In the end, the Undisputed Era retains the tag team titles. Now, getting towards WrestleMania, I think that's going to change. But for now, Undisputed Era, keep the belts on them. At around WrestleMania time, okay, I could see a change. That's where I see it, but just not yet. We're not going to go all of a sudden handing it over to Street Profits or Forgotten Sons or anything like that. They're the guys right now, being War Raiders, are going to be the team that's going to take over. And then we'll start seeing teams like Street Profits and others start to work their way up. So as the Undisputed Era will make their way to the main roster. NXT Women's Championship. This one's a little bit interesting. Shayna Baszler, the current champion, against Bianca Belair, the undefeated challenger. Or as some people want to say, overrated challenger, Bianca Belair. She's been on a roll. Undefeated, wants to come out and say that she's the strongest, she's the quickest, and I love that Shayna Baszler comes back and says, well, you still need oxygen to breathe. I love that shit. I think that was great. A great moment there in the promo to kind of build this thing up, because I think the fans are a little bit excited about it, but on the other side, they're like, I don't know, this could be turned into the bathroom break match. Shayna Baszler's going to have, her girls in her corner and probably might play a role in this. Bianca Belair with that long hair, she's not going to whip anybody with it, but I feel like I want to say Shayna Baszler is going to retain, but does Shayna Baszler really need the NXT Women's Championship right now? And the answer is no. I think that it's time to move forward with someone else. I don't want I'm going to pick Bianca Belair to become the new champion here, to get the women's title. to help build the women's division. Shayna Baszler eventually is just going to make her way over to the main roster, at least by after WrestleMania. I think that we'll see Shayna Baszler there. And I think that's not all we're going to see of Shayna Baszler that weekend, but we'll get into the Rumble later. But Bianca Belair, I think, is going to become the new champion here. I think they want to ride this undefeated thing for a little bit longer to see where it goes. And I don't want it to turn into Asuka. I really don't. At some point, she'll lose. There's other women on the roster that they can go ahead and put out. Luke Rojas talking about it, yep. Flogrono G mentioning Bianca Belair is Naomi 2.0. A possibility there. Something to think about. I sort of agree with you there, Flogrown. I'm worried about it. Some people are going to come out overrated chants for Bianca Belair because you're going to hear the undefeated versus overrated from the crowd because we're going to have a raucous crowd. That's what you can always expect at an NXT show. So, raucous crowd, going to be crazy. People saying undefeated versus overrated. But Bianca Belair is going to become the champ. I think that's where we're heading at this point. Shayna Baszler's had the title twice already. It's time to pass that torch, have her move forward to doing something else towards the main roster at this point, while her two friends are still around in NXT, kind of working their way up, which hurts the four horsewomen thing a little bit as we talk about Ronda Rousey later on. Finally, we get to the NXT Championship match. Tommaso Ciampa versus Alistair Black. This match is going to be screaming awesome all over it. Boy, I'll tell you what, man. Everybody's talking Alexa Bliss. Yeah, I agree. Pure bliss. My future ex-wife. But what about Belair wins, but by DQ or countout? Ooh, AJ Hoover bringing up a good point here. That could happen. You got me thinking about this one now. The possibility of seeing a DQ here is pretty good, especially when you got, Shayna Baszler with her friends at ringside doing their business. That could be something, or maybe the ref catches them and says, no, go to the back. That can happen. So there's possibilities here. But I'm still going to stick with Bianca Belair. But yeah, I kind of think about the DQ thing could be around. Back to hormones up, bro. Alexa. Oh, Joe Compton. Think about winning the Himmel Rumble first, Joe. But let's get to the NXT title. Tommaso Ciampa versus Alistair Black. First off, again, like I mentioned earlier, if we never had DIY breakup, we would never have what Tommaso Ciampa is doing right now. Holding on to that belt tight. Clinging on. I should have brought my NXT title out here so I could just cling on to it like Tommaso Ciampa. Holding it real tight because he doesn't want to let it go. Having him as champion has been fantastic. This whole last year in 2018 for Tommaso Ciampa as he became the champion here in NXT has been phenomenal. You look at his Twitter, he follows absolutely no one and everyone follows him. It's freaking awesome. Everything that he has done is very well orchestrated. We hear Alistair Black calling Tommaso Ciampa the puppet master. And it really fits for the storylines that we've seen and how Tommaso Ciampa was able to get out of situations and say, oh, yay, why don't you go ahead and you wrestle Johnny Gargano in a steel cage? And we ended up getting that on NXT. So you see the puppet master thing playing out a lot with Tommaso Ciampa, which also makes me think, is he doing a little puppet master with Johnny Gargano in terms of the comeback of DIY? This is something kind of to look into in the coming months that maybe we will get that championship match. Now, does Alistair Black need the belt? No, he doesn't. Alistair Black's time in NXT is short. He's going to be moving to the main roster at this point. I would say by after WrestleMania, Alistair Black is no longer going to be part of NXT, and he's going to be either on Raw or SmackDown at that point. There's nothing really left for Alistair Black to do in NXT. He's pretty much done everything he can do out there. And super over. Getting him to the main roster right now is the goal for him. Just having him here, his time is short. It's been 3 years. I know. Alistair in the Rumble, possibility. But in this match with Tommaso Ciampa, I think it makes sense for Tommaso Ciampa to retain the NXT Championship. And when you see what's going on, because I feel like the story's more about Tommaso and Johnny Gargano, which has always been the story between the two of them, more than Alistair Black. Alistair Black, as I said, move him to the main roster, keep the story of Ciampa and Gargano going, but now having them both as champion, being that Johnny Gargano being the North American champion, Tommaso Ciampa with the NXT title, makes sense, and it's something that's going to build for story in the coming months, leading in towards WrestleMania weekend and beyond, because even after WrestleMania weekend, these guys are still going to be around in NXT. So there you go. Cassius Ohno, Johnny Gargano, Undisputed Era, Bianca Belair, Tommaso Ciampa. These are the winners here for NXT TakeOver in Phoenix, and I'm holding that true through the whole weekend. Before we get to the Royal Rumble, I want to give some shout-outs here. Shout-out to the latest YouTube subs. So thank you to Broken Bullet Club 305 Villanueva, and also to Stephanie Murphy. Thank you guys. Thank you both for following, hitting that subscribe button here on YouTube. If you guys are brand new here, hit the sub button, hit the like, click the bell to get your notifications. Also want to shout out some new Twitch followers. We got a lot of them. Gamer Dave 35, Joel Meister 02, Chugga Chris 3, who by the way, that's Shotspired Christian. Click to Glory, MJ Car 1, Dead to Damnation, Q Chains 15, Real Lewis Money, The Bonus Stage, Crippled Donut, Nasty B for You, and Fluffy Panda 4180. Thank you guys for all following me over on Twitch. We're getting close to 300 over there on Twitch. I think we're about 6 away. I will be on Twitch tonight, giving you a sneak peek of HWF tonight. So make sure you guys check that out. The Himmel Rumble was supposed to be tonight. I moved it to Saturday at 2 o'clock. Saturday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, well before NXT TakeOver. You guys can come in, check it out. We're going to have probably a full Rumble. We're still taking people who want to be in the Himmel Rumble, get your characters created. That can happen. So shout out to Canadian Basement. See him in here tonight. If you're looking to be part of the matches in HWF, if you have Xbox One and you have WWE 2K19, make a character and let me know where to find it, and I will add you in. Now, if you don't have Xbox One, don't worry. If you're playing on PS4, don't worry. It's not on the Switch, so you got nothing to worry about there. If you're playing on PC, don't worry. Listen, let me know if you want to be in, and I will create you. I spent this whole week, it's such an influx of people that want to be part of HWF for the debut at the Himmel Rumble this Saturday, that I'm still creating people. And tonight you're going to see some of them on Twitch created. If you guys have been following me on Twitter, at @highoctane_buzz, you would see some of those creations, and they're pretty damn good. If you say so myself, I say so myself. Hell, Gina looks great, by the way. She looks dead sexy. The way she wanted to come out. She wanted an Alexa Bliss look, and I gave it to her, and she got everything she wanted. Everyone's been asking in certain ways to build their characters, to have them in the game, to be a part of the HWF roster, to be part of a Rumble, and not just the Rumbles, but Elimination Chambers and all sorts of matches going forward. We're creating your entrances, your move sets. I put a lot of work in to start making this work out, and we got a lot of people. I saw Canadian Basement saying that he wants in. I will definitely do that, Basement. Send me some ideas. Guys, DM me at @highoctane_buzz on Twitter. By the way, if you're not following me on Twitter yet, the link is down below in the description. Go over there, hit the follow button, send me some info, how you want your character created. Guys, don't worry if you're under 6 feet tall. I will make you at least 6 foot in this game. Ladies, if you're under 5 foot, don't worry. I will make you look competitive. I will make you look badass. You're going to look good in the ring. If you guys seen Foulmouth Ken, when I put him in there because he wants to be in, and Ken, first thing he says, goes, "Oh my God, I'm skinny." I mean, dude, he's like a buffed up dude, and everyone in the game looks buffed up. And I'm making sure that you guys look like action figure versions of yourself. and it looks great. So I'm really looking forward to it. Who's coming? Number 20. It's Big Chungus. Luke Rojas. Luke Rojas, tune into Twitch tonight. You might see Big Chungus. So keep an eye out for that. Someone had a Big Chungus in WWE 2K19, and it looks hilarious. My nephew can't stop laughing when he sees it. So I like having the Big Chungus character. So it's actually pretty cool. All right, enough out of the way. We're going to talk Royal Rumble. Let's get to it. Sunday, Chase Field, over 40,000 in attendance to watch the Royal Rumble. I will be a part with Two Marks Crew on Sunday, going through the whole event live. So we'll be reacting to the Rumble live during the show. So make sure you guys check that out. Joe Compton's already talking about throwing Ken over the top rope. Good luck. You'll need it. But it's going to be a great event, I think, on Sunday. I'm liking the card so far. There's a lot of interest in this Rumble card because there's so many possibilities that, we don't have. Oh, my God. I mentioned Scarlett Bordeaux in this chat, Sarah Small. Boy, I wish she was in a women's Rumble. But just think about this. Savage Rock and Roll. Holy shit. What's up, Savage Rock and Roll? Holy man, I haven't seen you in like forever, dude. Savage Rock and Roll back at it again. But this card is very interesting. The Royal Rumble is interesting because this year is going to be that year where the WWE is going to have a little trouble placing all those eggs in that one basket for the past few years, whose name was Roman Reigns. They don't have a Roman this time. All right, so now they got to sit here and figure out what they need to do. Especially now you got to open up your main event scene on Raw because you have no title there. You have no main event championship because Brock Lesnar just takes it home with him, or in the case of last week on Raw, forgets to bring it with him, and they're using a replica belt on the show. So Harper and Rowan have both been cleared for action. That is true, Flo Grown OG. But will we see them in the Rumble? That is a big question mark. So holding out hope on that one. But let's get right down to it, the pre-show. Or in other words, if we remember back in the Survivor Series, the stuff that doesn't count. Y'all remember that? SmackDown won, but yet Raw had all the victories during the show, and they say Raw had a clean sweep, but it was like, well, wait a minute. SmackDown won the tag team match, right? We don't want to remember that? Come on. So, obviously, the way that these matches are placed, oh my God, Thanos. Oh man, I think Thanos might be in the HWF Rumble tonight. But get right down to it. United States Championship match, Rusev to defend against Shinsuke Nakamura. I think we've all heard the rumors by about now. Shinsuke Nakamura's contract with WWE ends next month in February. And the rumors are stating that Shinsuke Nakamura may not re-sign with WWE. And if that's the case, that's one of the reasons why we don't have Nakamura as champion anymore. And why Rusev is the guy right now. And they might carry Rusev into WrestleMania, maybe having a WrestleMania moment again that he had a few years ago. Remember when he came in with a freaking tank? They might do something like that. I think that would be neat to see it again. So that means Rusev being champion. With Shinsuke Nakamura right now in question of whether he's going to be in WWE or not as of next month, as I drop my glasses. I just can't see Shinsuke Nakamura taking the belt. This is a no-brainer. Rusev's going to retain. This may be the last match we see of Shinsuke Nakamura in WWE. There have been words, I think Dave Meltzer said something about it, that Shinsuke Nakamura is not going back to New Japan Pro Wrestling. I don't think he's going to be signing with AEW, but I ain't going to rule it out. But Nakamura at this point, this may be the last time we see him, so get it ready for Sunday. This might be it. And but I got Rusev winning this. He'll win it clean. So there you go. Cruiserweight title on the line. Oh, how 205 Live can't even break into the main show. They're going to be pre-show again. Buddy Murphy, of course, the champion, taking on Akira Tozawa, Hideo Itami, and Kalisto for the the Cruiserweight title. Who remembers this a few years ago? What's up, Super Laser? If you remember a few years ago, when Hideo Itami made his debut in NXT, you had Hulk Hogan there, everybody in the ring getting all excited. Hideo Itami is here, and we remember how big they were pushing Hideo Itami. And since then, obviously, he's had injury issues, hasn't really connected with the fans very well. They bring him up to the main roster, but of course, the 205 Live. But for a guy you've really been pushing in the beginning, he was teaming up even with Finn Balor for a while, if you remember that. And Hideo Itami has been a guy who's been completely forgotten and has been buried down the roster in 205 Live, just like a Mike Kanellis. Hell, just like Enzo, but no one cared about Enzo. But Hideo Itami is a guy I feel like, man, if you're going to do something, now would be the time to do something with Hideo Itami. However, again, it's pre-show. No one's going to care. And I feel like Kalisto and Tozawa are just there to be there. Hideo Itami is my dark horse to win this match. However, I don't see it happening. I think that they're going to continue to keep the belt on Buddy Murphy. Sarah Small is right. Hideo Itami deserves his moment. And I agree with you. As I said, a guy who's been very underutilized. And that's a term you're going to hear a lot, underutilized. I mean, think of how many people have been underutilized. I said this on Two Marks Crew. I didn't get a chance to say it with Joe when, because I couldn't get through on his line when I came out from Monday Night Raw, when you had a Revival getting on the mic and Scott Dawson talking about how he hates Orlando and everything just to get heat for that match. But we knew that the Revival is pretty much dead as a fucking doornail. You know, they're done. Just put them in a fucking coffin. No one's going to care about them. Is Kalisto still one of the Mexicools? Oh my God. Big Chungus couldn't make it to the Rumble due to an anxiety attack. Oh my God, no. Oh man. But yeah, Buddy Murphy's going to retain, but I am kind of secretly rooting for Hideo Itami to finally get his moment because he deserves it. I just don't know if it's going to happen. At least not now. At some point, Buddy Murphy's going to drop the belt. The question is when, but it's not going to happen this weekend, especially if you're having a pre-show where no one's going to watch and no one's going to care. So there you go. Going into the main card itself, yeah, tag division is a mess, Sarah. You're correct. And speaking of tag matches, here we go. The Bar, the champions, Sheamus and Cesaro, taking on The Miz and Shane McMahon for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. I'm actually excited for this. The reason why I'm excited is I want to see how far they can continue on with Shane and The Miz, because I feel like that the showdown between these two at WrestleMania is pretty much a done deal. I think it's going to happen. Joe Compton's already talking about the Brooklyn Brawler. That would actually be funny. If we get the Brooklyn Brawler out there, just have anybody play the Brooklyn Brawler and bring them out, right? That would be funny stuff. But The Miz and Shane McMahon right now, I would say, are the favorites. What's up, Dan Rex? I think they're the favorites to win this because I feel like at this point, Sheamus and Cesaro, they've been great together. They're still going to be great together. But seeing The Miz and Shane McMahon finally at this point, they were losing the jobbers for a while, now getting some momentum. And I feel like that this is the weekend where they capture the belts, hold on to them for a little bit, eventually to drop them to who knows? Won't be Heavy Machinery, don't worry. At least not yet. And help set a feud for WrestleMania. So this is to help plant those seeds, to get things going for this. So I think that the Shane and Miz and Shane McMahon and The Miz will become the tag team champions here. Listen, I love the Bar as much as anyone else. Bludgeon Brothers, thank you, Sarah. The return of the Bludgeon Brothers, maybe getting the belts back, is a possibility here. We got to get them on TV. I don't know if they're going to appear at the Rumble. They may appear the night after the Rumble, on SmackDown, that we see the Bludgeon Brothers return. It's not like you really need to see them in the Rumble, although it's a possibility. At least maybe even for Harper. But I think that the Bar's time is over with the tag belts. It's time to put on the Miz and Shane McMahon, push the storyline along a little bit, and get us ready for WrestleMania when the Miz and Shane McMahon face each other. So I think that's where we're heading. Collision course coming for WrestleMania. This is probably the most interesting match because it depends on the placement here in the Royal Rumble that's going to set the tone for the women's Royal Rumble match. And I'm talking about Asuka and Becky Lynch for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This is the match that has me interested to watch and see what exactly is going to happen with Becky Lynch. Because if they put the Women's Rumble early and they put the Asuka Becky Lynch match later, obviously we're not going to see Becky Lynch in the Rumble, which is what a lot of people are thinking about. And also Vegas, doesn't have, they have Becky Lynch up there as a favorite to win the Rumble, especially up there with Charlotte. And people are like, well, wait, Becky Lynch is not in the match. But watch the placement of this match. The earlier this match is, say maybe it's the second match of the night, and then the Women's Rumble comes after, is a very interesting situation because we all know that Asuka's going to retain. It's a surprise to absolutely no one that Becky Lynch is not going to win this match. It's not going to be clean either. It's going to be dirty. We know that Ronda Rousey could get involved here. Charlotte Flair is going to get involved here in some way to screw over Becky Lynch because they need to set up the triple threat for Mania. They need to set up Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Ronda Rousey. Just remember how clear it was before SummerSlam when the goal was they were going to have Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. And now all of a sudden, everything has gone up fucking haywire because Becky Lynch is over as hell with the man gimmick. And it's really working for her. It works for me. I love it. Becky Lynch is completely revived in her character. And now all of a sudden it throws the Rumble into a fucking loop. So placement of this match is key. I don't think it'll be the opening match, but there's a possibility of that. And especially the earlier the match is on, guarantee your ass that Becky Lynch will appear in the Rumble. Because we know she's not going to win. She's going to get screwed over. This should be a surprise to absolutely no one. That's going to happen. So Asuka will retain. You might have Becky Lynch maybe coming out as the winner, but Asuka retains the belt to screw her over, and that's when she probably gets in the back and says, put me in the freaking Rumble. That's going to happen. I think that's what's going to go down. More on that when we get to the Rumble match. Ronda Rousey versus Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship. WWE talking about change. And one of those changes, Sasha Banks now getting the opportunity instead of being buried down the freaking roster and we barely see her on television sometimes. Now, and when she was on TV doing segments with Bayley talking about the WWE Women's Tag Team titles, which is where Sasha Banks and Bayley are heading towards by the Elimination Chamber. So we pretty much can also think at this point that Ronda Rousey is going to retain. Ronda Rousey is going to be holding this belt all the way to WrestleMania because we've heard the rumors. Joe Cronin talked about them as well, about Ronda Rousey leaving after WrestleMania. She's talking about wanting to start a family. And if that's the case, it means we weren't going to see Ronda Rousey for a long time. I think we will see Ronda Rousey eventually come back after a while to give us that 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen match that we all want. But after WrestleMania, it's pretty much bye-bye for Ronda Rousey. I was trying to catch here with Savage Rock and Roll. It's on Saturday, Savage. It's going to be Saturday. We're going to have a sneak peek tonight on Twitch, though. You guys will get to see that. Luke Rojas says combining both women's titles. Yes, makes sense. We need to already. There's not enough freaking women on the roster, especially when you look at the Royal Rumble, which we'll get into. It's like, what do you do? There's not enough women out there to really field 2 belts. There should just be 1. And we're seeing that with the tag belts as well. So in this situation, as I said, Ronda Rousey will win. Sasha Banks, they're going to make her look good in this match. But as I said, Sasha Banks will be back with Bayley going towards the tag belts at the Elimination Chamber. That's where the best fit for them is right now, because they're the favorites to get those tag belts at this point, or even just chase for those belts for a little bit before getting them. Kind of something to keep an eye about. I mentioned this on Two Marks Crew, that maybe Sasha and Bayley don't get the belts right away, and maybe we get something a little bit more iconic for the belts. So kind of keep an eye on that as we move on. But Sasha Banks, again, is going to lose this match, but look good in it as we move forward. Ronda Rousey should win. I don't think this is going to be a dirty finish or anything like that. I don't think you're going to see a Becky Lynch or Charlotte get involved. They're just going to stay out of it. So that's the situation there. WWE Championship, Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. I like this match. This could be the match of the night. This is the one that could steal the whole show. Forget about the Rumbles. It's going to be about Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. If WWE and the creative says, you know what? Let them go. Let them do their thing in the ring and kill it in the ring for 20, 25 minutes. It would be probably one of the more amazing matches of the night. These two we know can perform at an extremely high level. I mean, just the thought of it. Keep the dick kicks out. I don't want to see any dick kicks, dick punches, or any of that crap. Give me a wrestling match to be excited about, and for the fans to be excited about. Because remember, you're going to have Smart Mark fans in attendance. This is not going to be a huge casual audience. This is going to be Smart Mark fucking city for the Royal Rumble, especially with NXT TakeOver, because those fans are going to come from TakeOver to the Rumble. You'll have a little bit of some casuals there, but it's not going to be enough because the Smart Marks are going to kill it, and they're going to let you know how they feel. And especially when I bring up, what's up, Jim Case? Especially when WWE brings up change, and we want to see change. Here you are in the Rumble, and if you're not showing change, the fans are going to let you hear it. 40,000 strong are going to let you hear it. So you've had all these weeks to get it ready. The shows have been abysmal as of late. I had fun in Orlando when I watched Monday Night Raw a couple weeks ago, even though the show was not very good. I still had a great time. But the thing is they need to show change. So that's important. But as far as the match goes, listen, we know these two are going to tear it up. They're going to destroy. They're going to have a great match if WWE lets them do it. Don't water these guys down. Let them go. And if they do, we could have a 5-star classic on our hands. But as far as the belt changing hands, nope. Daniel Bryan will retain the belt because I am loving his heel gimmick. I love the way he is as a heel right now, and we need to keep rolling with that. But rolling with it as champion, that makes more sense for Daniel Bryan. So Daniel Bryan retains. AJ Styles can get back on that lower schedule. No empty sections in in Orlando. There was not an empty seat. You're talking about the home of NXT. So they all went to the show. No empty seats, no empty sections. Savage Rock and Roll. But as far as this match, Daniel Bryan retains. AJ Styles is going to look great. He's going to get back to that slower schedule. Hopefully that he stays with WWE, which I think he will. But that smaller schedule is going to really help for him. He doesn't really need the belt anymore. He's held it for over a year. I mean, do you really want to put it back on AJ? I say stay with Daniel Bryan. So that's the best way to go. Now this next one, before we get to the Rumbles, here we go. This one has me going one side and the other, and it's Brock Lesnar versus Finn Balor. Monday night on Raw, the whole promo with Vince McMahon doing David versus freaking Goliath again was probably one of the worst things I've seen. And it really hurt Finn Balor. Because I feel like that if Finn Balor doesn't win, it's going to hurt him. On the other side, if Brock Lesnar loses, none of us are going to care. We could get the championship back on television where it needs to be, because the Universal title not being on television is hurting Monday Night Raw. It really is. If you think about it, there's no main event, pairings that really help elevate for a championship. You have a guy who's a part-timer running around with the fucking belt, and whether and clearly he wants to be in UFC more than the WWE. Now, he has come out and said, I do want to work with Finn Balor. So this is interesting. So I don't think that we're going to see the Demon. I don't think we'll see it. I think he's pretty much been saying that he's not going to be doing it. He said, I think there was a report out there saying, obviously, a worked storyline to say that the Demon is more of a crutch and that he wants to be himself in this match. Although the possibility of Demon Balor is something I'd like to see, because we haven't seen it since, WrestleMania? I think it was. Was it WrestleMania, the last time we saw the Demon, or SummerSlam? One of those times when the Demon came out. So it's been a very, very long time. And I think that this would be a match where I'd love to see it, but there's a possibility we're not. And as much as I want Finn to win, because I will be rooting for Finn Balor in this match, because I want him to get the belt. Put the belt back on television, make it prominent, make it important. But I feel like the WWE is just doing this for Finn Balor to help, the day comes that if he's wanting to leave the roster, instead sticks around by giving him this match and an opportunity for the belt. But if you think about it, I think WWE has their eggs in a different basket, and it's not in the basket of Finn Balor, and that's what sucks. This is going to hurt Finn Balor a bit, yes. On the other side, it could help him. What's up, Stephanie Murphy? I think that when it's all said and done, I think a lot of us can agree that Brock Lesnar is going to retain. However, they're going to make Finn Balor look good and make him look strong, because we need Finn Balor as a main event player and not a guy that's pretty much lost in the shuffle. So this is one of the things where when WWE says, okay, we got to change, we need a main event scene, and Finn Balor needs to be one of those keys in that scene, along with a Seth Rollins, a Dean Ambrose, Drew McIntyre, and the list just goes on and on and on. So we've had too many eggs in the Roman Reigns basket. Now he's not there, and I feel like the eggs are in a different basket when we talk about the Men's Rumble. But Finn Balor, I want him to win. I hope he does. But as of right now, I'm kind of in the position that Brock Lesnar should retain to WrestleMania, where he'll lose then. So there you go. All right, Rumble time. Let's get right to the Rumble. We're going to start out with the Women's Royal Rumble. I think that's the first of the two Rumbles that we're going to see. The women had the spotlight last year as the main event. I think this year they're going to be the early Rumble, and the Men's Rumble is going to be at the end. They're going to be the main event. So let's get down to it. The Women's Rumble, what we know right now and what we might see of surprises and whatnot. And for you guys in the chat, let's open it up for the Women's Rumble, who we might see. So I'm watching the chat as we go. Let's talk Women's Rumble right off the bat. So here's the competitors that we know of right now. Carmella, who is in at number 30, already a guaranteed spot. Going through the rest of this list, AJ Hoover already bringing up Paige. I don't think it's going to happen, but hey. Ember Moon, Natalya, Bayley, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Alicia Fox, a.k.a. The Bathroom Break, Zelina Vega, Naomi, Mickie James, Billy Kay, Peyton Royce, Charlotte Flair, Tamina, Dana Brooke, Lana, Nikki Cross, Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, and Lacey Evans. That gives us a total of 23 that we know of for the Rumble, which is pretty much the entire main roster women's division. We got 7 spots still to fill, so where do we go? And I've seen already some people in the chat mentioning the name Lita. I don't think Paige is going to be in it. I wish she would. That would be awesome, but I think the injury, obviously real. Layla, very possible there with Layla, maybe. Here's what I have on a list of people I think could be there in the Rumble to fill up these 7 slots. Is that wrong to say for a women's match, slots? Because it almost sounds like sluts. Trish Stratus and Lita are at the top of my list. Obviously, some legends in the match makes sense. And Trish Stratus and Lita look great at Evolution. So why not have them back in the Rumble? I think makes a lot of sense. Joe Compton bringing up Michelle McCool is a possibility. And speaking of legends, how about Beth Phoenix? We've seen her around every once in a while. Why not have Beth Phoenix come into the ring again? She still looks good. Why not? Put her in there. So possibly seeing Trish Stratus, Lita, and Beth Phoenix in somewhere for legends, I think would be there. R-Truth showing up confused, says Savage Rock and Roll. I can almost guarantee it that's going to happen. I think every one of us is predicting that R-Truth will come out at number 30 in the Women's Rumble going, oops, my bad. So I think that could happen. Here's some other names I got on my list. Two people I kind of don't want to see, but they're on my list right now. Nikki and Brie Bella. I don't want to see the Bella twins in this at all. But I have a feeling we might see one. That would be Nikki. There's a possibility of this because you know how the WWE is with the Bellas. I have a feeling it's going to happen. I don't think we'll see Santina. Alexa Bliss is already in the Rumble. Stephanie Murphy, she's in it. That's already a guarantee. I got a good one here on my list, and I'm going to NXT UK. And I would love to see Toni Storm and Rhea Ripley both in the Women's Rumble. I think, again, makes sense. You have the NXT UK Women's Champion, Toni Storm. Get her in the ring, in the Royal Rumble. Get some exposure for NXT UK. This is a great opportunity. And Rhea Ripley is awesome as well. So I'd like to see both of them in this match. Two other names that stick out for me. Io Shirai and Kairi Sane. Both of them deserve to be in the Rumble as well. Kairi Sane, a former champion. Io Shirai went to the finals in the Mae Young Classic. I think there's a possibility of seeing both of them. At one point I had Dakota Kai, but Dakota Kai is injured. She tore her ACL back in December, so obviously we're not going to see her. That's disappointing. You know, it sucks for that situation. I can think of a lot of names in the NXT roster. Shayna Baszler, again, could be one of them in the Rumble. Bianca Belair could be there as well. So seeing some NXT, we did have the NXT champions there before, so we could see that again here on Sunday. But having Shayna Baszler there, I think makes a lot of sense. So I think there's a possibility of that. Finally on my list, of course, Becky Lynch. And this is like I said before, Becky Lynch is going to find her way somehow into this Rumble because of the loss that she will have, not being able to gain the Women's Championship. So she's going to go in there and get her title match in the Rumble. I think that's what we're going to see. Becky Lynch is going to beat someone down. The question is who? Could it be Carmella? Could it be Alicia Fox? What's up, Heistman Defoe? I think that there's a possibility when you look at some of the women there, who's going to be the one that's going to get screwed out of the match? Is Alexa Bliss not really ready yet? Maybe they find a way to get Alexa Bliss out. You know, there's a lot of questions here. I don't think they'll do it to Lacey. Maybe Lana's the one that takes a beat down so that Becky Lynch gets in the Rumble. Somewhere it has to happen. So Becky Lynch is going to be in there. And as far as the winner of the Women's Rumble, I think a lot of us right now are in the boat of Charlotte Flair winning this thing. And I think that Charlotte Flair is going to be the one that wins. However, I think that Becky Lynch is going to get into the point where maybe if she's in there, what if they have both of them go over the top rope at the same time? Now, we've seen this in 1994 with Bret Hart and Lex Luger and how they had co-champions. You go to 2006, I think it was, with John Cena and Batista. And if you remember that Rumble, that's when Vince McMahon tore both his quads coming down to the ring to say, listen, we're not having this 1994 all over again. We have to have a winner. So there's a possibility that we're going to see this in the Women's Rumble where I think a lot of people have been playing out the thought, Charlotte and Becky go over at the same time. They restart the match and maybe they both go over at the same time again. Somehow, something's got to happen where they set up this triple threat. And if they go in only one winner, then maybe the other one wins at the Elimination Chamber. Then Asuka's going to be like, hey, what about Asuka? You know, what do you do? So I think there's a lot of variables that got to play out to get this triple threat match. And the possibility of them both going over is pretty good. But I'm going to pick Charlotte to be the winner here. What's up, Emerson Chu? Holy cow, man. Everybody's hanging out, man. Thank you guys for hanging out here so far. But I will say this. I think Ember Moon is a dark horse here to maybe win the Rumble. So I'm going to put Ember Moon as one of my favorites here because there's that possibility that WWE says, you know what? Charlotte's too predictable. Becky's too predictable. If we're going to make this unpredictable, what's up, Roger that? And I think if you're going to make it unpredictable, that's where Ember Moon comes in. And I think that she's going to be the dark horse pick to win the Rumble. Lacey Evans needs a strong showing here. You're bringing Lacey Evans up. You don't have to do as much with Nikki Cross because Nikki Cross is way over. But Lacey Evans, not as much. Like I mentioned on 2 Marks a couple weeks ago, losing to Natalya in her debut. I'm sorry. I'm holding to that shit. You don't take someone who's might be more of a doormat, which is going to be Lacey Evans, and then have her lose a debut that everyone's going to look and say, well, screw Lacey Evans. Who's going to care about her? It's not like I really cared about her that much in NXT, but at least give her something. So I think at the Rumble, she's going to have a decent showing. She needs to have that. Nikki Cross, it doesn't matter as much, but let's see. Jermaine Little saying Women's Royal Rumble, Iron Man, Charlotte. Yeah, I mean, I think we're all on the Charlotte bandwagon right now. As that's my pick. But again, we could see the tie here, co-winners, or we see Ember Moon. So I think that's where we're at right now with the Women's Rumble in terms of who's going to win it. I think we're between those three over anybody else at this point. Alexa Bliss, ever since she announced she's in the Rumble, has turned up in the top 5 favorites to also win the Rumble. So keep an eye on Alexa Bliss at the Rumble as well. Going into the Men's Rumble, let's get this out of the way. You're not going to see Kenny Omega, you're not going to see The Rock, and you're not going to see Batista. So get it out of your head. None of them are going to be there. I know some people have been throwing rumors left and right about Kenny Omega. No, it doesn't work. The dates aren't going to work, and we all know he's not going there. He's going to AEW. Okay? The Rock, not going to happen, obviously, because of the Roman Reigns situation with the leukemia. And yeah, so again, it's just not going to work out. And of course, Batista, I mean, the guy's 50 years old. What else does he have to do? You're not going to have Triple H at Mania now. So the whole Triple H thing is gone. So really having Batista in there doesn't make any sense. Take out the name Hulk Hogan. That's not going to happen. And no, Roman Reigns is not going to show up in the Royal Rumble. So there you go. Take them all out. They're not going to happen. But here's what we know at the Men's Rumble. R-Truth is number 30. And no, Carmella's not going to come out at number 30 in the Men's Rumble and say, oops, my bad. Actually, that would be pretty funny if she did. So, Undertaker, I don't think will be in the Rumble either. So take out Undertaker, Kane, Shawn Michaels. No, they're not going to be there either. But here you go. Drew McIntyre, Big E, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Seth Rollins, Jeff Hardy, Dean Ambrose, Bobby Lashley, Samoa Joe, John Cena, injured. As I throw up the freaking quotes, injured. We know it's a work. Speaking of that, did anybody watch that when they announced that John Cena was injured? And the woman, the reporter, is there on a green screen talking about the John Cena injury. So you know it's a work. It's bullshit. He's getting ready to film another movie. So that's why they're having the injured role for John Cena. Elias, Baron Corbin, Jinder Mahal. Why? Easy throw out. Apollo Crews, Andrade Cien Almas. I know they shortened his name down to Andrade, but I'm sorry, it's Andrade Cien Almas to me. Mustafa Ali, Rey Mysterio, Titus. I'm going to do something stupid in the Rumble, just like I did in the Greatest Rumble, Royal Rumble, and slip into the ring. We're going to see a Titus moment. And Randy Orton are all confirmed for the Rumble. So we have right now 10 spots to fill for the Men's Rumble. And there's a lot of possibilities here. First off, Kofi Kingston's going to have his moment. Luke Rojas, absolutely correct. He's going to have his moment here. Big Papa Pump, I don't think so. He's in Impact Wrestling, if I'm right. So that would be interesting, though. I would give it that. Big Show. Stephanie Murphy bringing up Big Show. I got him on my list as a possibility here of showing up in the Rumble. I know we all want him to retire, but you never know. Just seeing the Big Show could show up there for 2-3 minutes, having the Big Show in the ring. But here's who I have as possibilities also. Jimmy and Jey Uso. What are the Usos doing this weekend? Nothing. Why aren't they in the Rumble? I think a lot of people have been making predictions. I've seen a few prediction videos out there that brought up Jimmy and Jey Uso. Where are the Usos for the Royal Rumble? So I think that we're going to see both of them there. EC3. See, Dan Rex brought it up in the chat. Again, recent call-up. No surprise to anybody that EC3 will be in the Rumble. And hopefully he does get a major push, Jim Case. I agree with you. He needs that push. So I think EC3 will be there. Dolph Ziggler. We haven't heard anything from Dolph Ziggler. His contract is up at the end of the month. Maybe having that final send-off in the Royal Rumble is a possibility here. So I think because we know that he's not going to re-sign with WWE. He's focusing on being a comedian. So good for him. I'm going to miss him. But yeah, Dolph Ziggler might show up here. Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle did mention on his Instagram, next stop, Royal Rumble. So we know that Kurt Angle will be out there. Will he be in the match? More than likely, yes. So I think that when you want a legend in there for the Royal Rumble, it makes sense for Kurt Angle. Luke Rojas just brought up Matt Hardy, who is next on my list. Matt Hardy is a possibility here for the Rumble. We have learned that Matt Hardy has been cleared to wrestle. So he's not retired. So I think there's a possibility that we will see Matt Hardy in the Rumble. And you know what? Where's Bray Wyatt? Bray Wyatt we haven't seen on television forever. And I think that here in the Rumble, Bray Wyatt will return. This is the perfect time to have Bray Wyatt return. And the fans will pop like crazy to see Bray Wyatt again. This is a great time to always bring someone back that we haven't seen in a while, that they haven't been on television for a bit. Usually you get a guy who's on injury return, and then the crowd goes crazy. So this is a moment where you're going to have that, and Bray Wyatt is that pick. Matt Hardy obviously would be the other. So I honestly would think that we're going to see Bray Wyatt more than Matt Hardy. So I'm going to pick Bray Wyatt in this situation. I think he's a guarantee to be there. Chad Gable or Bobby Roode. Nothing for the Raw Tag Champs right now. And it's kind of weird because the SmackDown Tag titles are on the line, but the Raw titles are not. There's a chance that I don't think we'll see both, but maybe more than likely we'll see Bobby Roode. So I think that can happen. Obviously, NXT. Obviously, the NXT champion has always been a part of it. So I think that we could see Tommaso Ciampa in the Rumble. The other possibilities being Alistair Black, the Velveteen Dream. I think we've seen some stuff from Velveteen Dream on Twitter where he talked about wanting his worth. And I think that's a work going on right now to set up the Velveteen Dream for the Royal Rumble. So I think that we will see the Velveteen Dream there. Patrick from Toughen Up Baby is going to be in the Rumble. I mean, you could just book it right now because I think the fans will eat it up and go nuts for that. See Abyss and Crazy Steve. Boy, man, where are those guys? Braun Strowman. I thought Braun Strowman wasn't cleared to wrestle. All of a sudden, Braun Strowman, someone forgot that there's Raw Tag Team Champions. I agree, I forgot too. We have Raw Tag belts. They exist. Braun Strowman, we seen him wrestle this past week on Raw with Finn Balor, and all of a sudden it made me think, well, then why did you cancel the championship match to begin with? Maybe they were worried that he wasn't going to be able to wrestle. Now all of a sudden he can, but now you got Finn Balor in the way. So I think that there's a possibility that Braun Strowman appears in the Rumble. I doubt he would win it, but still have him in there. I don't think we'll see Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn. They're still injured. We're not going to see him probably till towards around probably WrestleMania or the night after WrestleMania. I don't think we'll see Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn is the closer of the two being able to return. Some people have been predicting Sami Zayn for the Rumble. I'm going to say I don't think so, but, take that with a grain of salt. There's a possibility on that. Kevin Owens, we know there's no way. We won't see him till after the night after WrestleMania. AJ Hoover just brought up Nicholas. I actually would laugh if Nicholas was in the Rumble. I honestly would. I don't think we'll see Chris Jericho because he's in AEW. Possibilities here for Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura could appear here, especially since they're on the pre-show and they're probably going to want to get them into the Rumble. So I think there's a possibility of that, especially because you have your other champion, Bobby Lashley, is in the Rumble. And, somehow I think they try to fit a second person in, but usually WWE doesn't do that. But sometimes they do, especially when your name is Roman Reigns. Jake the Snake brings up Jim K's DDP as well. I see Sean's view. Why don't we have JD from New York while we're in there too? What's up, Gina? Holy cow, Gina J in the chat. Trying to think of some other names that we could possibly see. I kind of ran down a lot of NXT being there. But as far as legends, obviously Kurt Angle is going to be that one. Bobby Lashley, most eliminations is possible. When it's all said and done, Eugene. Oh, thank you. Jermaine Little just brought up Adam Cole. Thank you for making me I almost forgot about that. Adam Cole was in the match last year. I think he'll be in this year as well. Thank you for bringing that up. Hornswoggle. I was just watching the latest episode of Edge and Christian show and seeing Hornswoggle. That just made me laugh, dude. Yeah, he's still around. But when it's all said and done, who will be left in the men's Rumble as a winner? Right now, I feel like WWE is putting a lot of eggs in the basket of Seth Rollins being the person to win. I don't think it's going to be anyone on SmackDown winning. It's definitely not going to be John Cena with his work injury. No, you're not going to see Batista. He's not going to be in there. And who knows? Not R-Truth. I don't think R-Truth's going to have even a dance break or anything of that crap in the ring. Titus O'Neil's clearly not. He's probably going to slip and fall somewhere or get caught on the ropes and fall out. I think in this situation right now, if I had to pick the favorite, it is Seth Rollins. So at this point, I'm taking Seth Rollins to win the men's Rumble. However, if they were to go a different direction and surprise us, then that surprise pick would be Drew McIntyre. I think that he's up there as a favorite just as much as Seth Rollins because, and really if you think about it, the winner of the Universal Championship match is going to set who wins the damn Royal Rumble. Because God forbid, let's just say Finn Balor does win, because I do want him to win. Then maybe that sets up more of a Drew McIntyre to win the Rumble. Because you want to keep your face-heel dynamic. Now, there's a possibility that the WWE turns Drew McIntyre face. That can happen. I also thought about the possibility that Heath Slater could be in the Rumble this year. What if we have Heath Slater, Jinder Mahal, and Drew McIntyre all together in the ring for a 3MB reunion? And then they throw Heath Slater right out the damn ring. So, possibility we could see that. But I do want Finn to win, Gina. I do agree with you. I do want him to win. I don't know if they're going to pull it off. I really want them to. But I think WWE is not even smart enough to go ahead and put the belt on Finn. They should have. But I'm rooting for it, even though I'm saying that Brock Lesnar more than likely will retain. But right now, as I see it, Seth Rollins is going to be the pick to win. Drew McIntyre is my close second as far as I'm concerned. And if I was to look on this list and say a dark horse out there that could be interesting towards the end, if I had to pick somebody, this is a hard pick. I really do. I think this is a hard pick. But I'm going to go Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley as a dark horse. Keep an eye on that one. Keep an eye on Bobby Lashley here. Keep an eye on guys like Dean Ambrose. I think that they're going to be around towards the end. A Dean Ambrose, like a Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre. It's not going to be all Raw. I mean, obviously, there's got to be a SmackDown guy. That's where I look at, say, if I look on this list here, who from SmackDown, a Randy Orton could play a role in the late part of the match as well, even though a lot of people are probably not going to want him in that long. What's up, TSS? Randy Orton could play a role here towards the end, at least being the lone SmackDown guy that I think that could, make a move here. And as far as the NXT roster is concerned, that's where I see Alistair Black as a possibility. Or to say maybe an Adam Cole, between the two of them, who could be the ones towards the end to win. But Seth Rollins is my pick. Dean, and as I said, Drew McIntyre, that close second that I'm looking at in terms of winning the Men's Rumble. Guys, that pretty much wraps up everything here that we were going over, the whole card for NXT TakeOver as well as the Royal Rumble. We're going to head over to Twitch here in the next few minutes and give you a sneak peek of HWF tonight. We're going to show you, we're going to put up a Rumble match tonight with some of the people that have been created, and we'll put them up against crazy opponents in that Rumble. So you're going to get to see some of the things I've been working on. If you're looking to get into HWF, Canadian Basement announced himself tonight. I can also tell you Schleppy is also going to be a part of it. He announced himself as well. Trying to think who else did. I think Wise Society also announced himself to be a part of it. Is Gina rated 90? I don't know. You're up there, Gina. I can tell you that right now. I have heard Dory's name from Two Marks wants to be in. Dwayne Hadley just got created today, if you guys saw that, from Two Marks Crew. He's got a nice shirt, by the way. If you guys watching Two Marks Crew, if you're not, what the hell? You need to be watching. Because if you guys know anything about weenies, Dwayne had something to say about that after I created him. He wanted a special creation of Goldberg, and I gave him everything he wanted, even a match with Okayfabe. I hooked him up, but I told him it comes at a price. And it came with a weenie on the back of his shirt. So it's really cool. I'll show it to you guys, and you're going to see some of the characters that I created, some of the people that you know from the community that are going to be a part of the event. I can't believe I used the word community. But you guys are going to see that. You're going to see the arena that I'm going to be using for the events, not just the main special events. But the Himmel Rumble will be this Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you guys check it out. It's live. It'll be about a 2 to 2.5 hour event, completely live on Twitch. If you can't be there on Twitch, I don't know why, because you can sign up for Twitch for free. It's absolutely 100% free. It doesn't cost you anything to be a member of Twitch. You don't have to sign up for Twitch Prime or any of that stuff. Just sign up and be a free member. Come in, hang out in the chat. I do acknowledge everybody in the chat, but I'll be going at it for 2.5 hours, full announcing of 5 Royal Rumble matches. We're going to have the Jobbers Rumble. We're going to have a Legends Rumble. We're going to have the HWF Rumble with all the competitors that have been created to take part. You might find a few surprises in there. We're also going to have the main men's and women's Royal Rumbles based on the 2019 Royal Rumble lineup from WWE. Now, of course, for Gina is concerned, because Gina will be in the Women's Rumble. So you're going to catch that during the event. So Gina will be entering. And we hooked her up good with a special entrance. She has Finn Balor's entrance. Everything Finn Balor. So she got completely hooked up for this event. But and she looks dead sexy, folks. You guys are going to go nuts when you see her. If you love Alexa Bliss, you're going to love Gina. But we got that set up. We're going to give you a sneak peek, and I'm going to give you a Rumble match with created characters, with other created characters, like, say, a Big Chungus or Thanos and stuff like that. We're going to have some fun with it tonight. But a sneak preview of what you're going to see this Saturday. And if you're not on Twitch, as I said, we'll get it over to YouTube for you guys to watch. And every month we'll have special events. So the next special event after the Himmel Rumble will be an Elimination Chamber event. We're going to have Himmelmania. We're going to have Money in the Banks and all sorts of stuff and different matches and titles to grab. So we're going to show everything tonight, get you guys a sneak peek look, what you're going to see in these events. And as I said, and while I'm on the road starting next week, we're going to have the events will be recorded and then put on YouTube. They won't be on Twitch. So just to kind of give you an update there, I will be on the road starting next week. So I'm leaving on Tuesday to Alabama. So my outage season has begun. So just to kind of let you guys know, after this week, there won't be any Twitch streaming till April. But this weekend on Saturday, be there. That's the Himmel Rumble. We will be there on Twitch. So there you go. Guys, hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe if you're new here. I greatly appreciate everyone who subscribes. Anyone who also follows me over on Twitch, do that as well. When the fuck are you coming back up here? Gina, when am I coming back up? Here's a clue. March. I will be there in March, so there you go. Hit the like button on the way out. Hit subscribe. Hit follow. Do everything you got to do. Hit the bell to get notifications. Head on over to Twitch, guys. You're going to go see a sneak preview of HWF just to kind of give you an idea of what we're working with. And it's still kind of under construction a little bit to start for this weekend. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for sharing your input. Thank you to everybody in the chat. You guys made me laugh and had a good time. Let's head over to Twitch and let's keep it up. I'm Bryan Himmelfarb. I'll see you guys this weekend for the Royal Rumble. By the way, Sunday, 2 Mark's crew, we will be live, myself and Dwayne. We will be live talking Royal Rumble, giving live reactions during the match. Of course, 2 Mark's crew tomorrow night at around 10 o'clock Eastern. We are going to be talking Royal Rumble, making predictions, and I'm pretty sure we might talk a little bit Raw and SmackDown, but I think we'd rather get into the Rumble. I think that's where we want to be. Guys, I'll see you in a few minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. I will be there on Twitch, so we'll see you in just